From somewhere deep within the inner workings of the machine comes an irregular clanking sound, then a weak gurgle. Inoperable, it seems. The machine churns into life. Gears rotate. It settles into a slow metallic chug. Ready for the next lever, perhaps. The machine churns into life. It settles into a slow metallic chug. Ready for the next lever. The machine churns into life. The machine rattles, grinds, and hits. There's a loud bang as a rivet flies across the cavern, followed by an intense hiss of steam. The contraption sparks and trembles, then dies.
That didn't work. The wrong order of levers, perhaps?
From somewhere deep within the inner workings of the machine comes an irregular clanking sound, then a weak gurgle. Inoperable, it seems. The machine churns into life. It settles into a slow The machine churns into... It settles into a slow... The machine churns in... The machine There's a loud bang, then dies.
That didn't work. The wrong order of levers, perhaps?
From somewhere deep within the inner workings of the machine comes an irregular... From somewhere deep within the inner workings of the machine comes an irregular... The machine churns into... It settles into a slow metallic chug. Ready for the next lever, perhaps. The machine churns into life. It settles into a slow... The machine churns into life. The machine rattles. There's a loud bang as a... Then dies.
That didn't work. The wrong order of levers, perhaps.
From somewhere deep within the inner workings of the machine comes an irregular clanking sound, then a weak gurgle. Inoperable, it seems. The machine churns into life. Gears rotate. It settles into a slow metallic chug. Ready for the next lever, perhaps. The machine churns into life. It settles into a slow metallic chug. The machine churns into life. The machine rattles, grinds, then settles down into a steady mechanical thrum. Functional by the sound of it.
It's working.
This looks similar to that other relic I found. I wonder if it has a similar effect.
The towering relic seems to hum with esoteric energy, faintly pulsating in time with the beat of your heart. You feel it drawing you closer, yearning for your touch, hungering for your source. As your palms press into the warm stone, you feel the depths of your being crack open. Your power flows from you into the relic, yet a reverse current flows back into you with a new power, a different power. The stone warms and warms until it is suddenly too hot to touch, forcing you to remove your hands and step back.
Final armor could be very useful. Very useful indeed.
The towering relic seems, as your fingertips, the stone...
Oil barrels? Not a careful excavation, it seems.
I've seen places like this in books. Never thought I would see something like this in reality. This is the archaeological discovery of a lifetime.
The curious sculpture comes alive as you reach out to touch it. It thrums with power and throws flickering, dancing shadows against the walls. The carving is covered in strange glyphs that feel oddly familiar. They surround a gently glowing stone that makes you think of the night sky rolled into a ball. Trying to read the symbols, you hear a faint whispering at the back of your mind, as if you're listening to the echoes of a past age. Your mind swims, and for a moment, the glyphs become clear. You read, "Our first lords babes with power glowed, our seconds born in blood that flowed. Our thirds young to the wind return, our fourths to glowing flames adjourn. Our fifth lord's cubs with minds were blessed, our sixths had brawn beyond the rest. Our seventh's brood spread from earth to glen, and thus no king shall rise again." You try to hold your focus as the whispering echo fades, but the letters waver, contorting and merging until they're nothing but meaningless glyphs once more.
A riddle from the past. Or maybe a riddle about the past? What a way to die, down here in this darkness. Poor soul. It's Amadia, the mother of wizards. Tersendelius, poet and patron god of the elves. Duna, the stoutest of the seven. No wonder the dwarves pray to him.
Blessed Zolstissa, an elegant god.
Zantetza, the goddess of mirth, worshipped by imps. The god of the orcs, Vrogir. Ralph, I used to pray to you when I was young. That's it, we're through. What in the name of Lucian's price is going on here? I wonder what they did in life to deserve such a resting place.
The creature looks down from its perch, trembling. It crawled out of that sarcophagus as if it had forgotten how to move its limbs. It turns to you, and you see its face is covered by an intricate mask. From behind its unmoving lips, you hear a noise. It starts as a groaning, croaking chatter, but slowly becomes more distinct. It's speaking.
Mais Saravel te de larontu, Chamory?
The stream of noise cuts off abruptly. After a moment, you hear a jolting, lurching voice.
It wears the face of Rallick, but speaks the tongue of beasts. How cruel. I suspected the Seven Lords won the war after they locked me here, but seeing their faces on dumb creatures, a depressing confirmation. Gods? What is this senseless braying? The Seven Lords were Eternals, just as I am.
Deep within your soul, you feel your god stirring at the sound of the voice. You can feel its anger and fear swelling inside you. The creature leans forward to get a better look at you, clucking and tutting under her breath.
It seems to be a simple form at its core, a sauce vat. A walking, unfortunately talking, sauce vat. Fascinating. I wonder how to extract the sauce from the vessel without...
She pulls back suddenly, recoiling in horror.
It is rotting. Almost imperceptibly, but it decays with century left.
The god within you reacts, his emotions a cocktail of fury and fear. You hear his voice, demanding that you give him control.
Aetera, you worm! An eternity locked away was too fed to the wind. Your heresies deserve nothing less.
The figure recoils, as if struck.
Rallic! What happened to you? Did you truly fall so far?
Silence! It is your king that has fallen. He and all the other eternal cowards were flung into the void. And the power you were too scared to hunt has made me a god.
And yet here you stand, small, weak, decaying. I will not even need the Aeteran to grind you into the dust.
You feel your god freeze at the mention of this Aeteran, a cold terror settling in your chest.
Where is it?
Ha! Of course you never found it. You always lacked imagination, Lord Rallic. I hid it in these very caves, although I can feel its distance now. Someone has uncovered it. Perhaps they intend to flay the godliness from you. No matter. Given your pathetic state, it is mine to collect at my leisure. As for that monstrosity you have made your shell, it was designed to die, and I think it is time that design were fulfilled. Do not worry. The source shall not be wasted. It will carry me from this tomb. It will bring me freedom at last.
is mine.
Prepare yourself.
The air suddenly feels thick, like it's grown musty after concealing a lie for so long.
Their tale is one of scholars becoming gods. If they could, we can. Which is rather...
So, the god...
Everyone's got a past. We are who we are in this moment. That includes the Mighty Seven.